I kept the original pie for 6 months to do this show, you see. I kept it. I thought it'd be nice for you to see the original, wouldn't it? But I kept the... Wouldn't it? Yeah! But then I made the mistake of taking the original mince pie along. It was the stupidest thing I've ever done, because the show was in a place in the Welsh Valleys called Ebbw Vale. Well, some of you know it, you. You've been to Ebbw Vale, it's rough as shit. It's not the kind of place you go with a mince pie you care about. I found that out the hard way. If you don't know it, you might have seen it. It's where they filmed Ross Kemp in Afghanistan. Have you seen that? That's where they film it, on location near Ebbw Vale. People don't realise that, you see. And Ross Kemp's got the whole army with him. All I had was a mince pie to defend myself. I didn't stand a chance, did I? And the place is called the Ebbw Vale Beaufort Ballroom. And a few of you out there know the idea of having a ballroom in Ebbw Vale it's like putting lipstick and blusher on a Rottweiler. That's not polishing a turd, that's framing it and taking it along to the Antiques Roadshow to have it valued. Ballroom. I rang the venue manager. I said, has there been some kind of mistake? A ballroom in Ebbw Vale? He said, no, there's no mistake. No, we decorate the theatre beautifully. He said, we do it up lovely. It makes it a special event. For the punters, he said, they love it. And this was the clincher for me. He said, to be honest with you, it makes them behave themselves a bit. I thought, ballroom it is. We'll go ballroom. That's what... But I got there. If you know it, it's a working men's club. It's like long rows of tables and hard plastic school chairs, and they had thick glass ashtrays on every single table. This is a year after the smoking ban, bear that in mind. I said, why have you still got the ashtrays out? He said, well, they're going to throw something and we get money back on the bottles. A ballroom, I think, Cinderella, do you? That's the image I had in my head when I arrived. And in Cinderella, the fairy godmother turns a pumpkin into a coach, doesn't she? She turns the mice and the rats into horses and coachmen. She hadn't bloody bothered in Ebbw Vale. The mice, the rats, they were all there. She hadn't even given them waistcoats, right? There was no pumpkin. The fairy godmother hadn't had time. She'd been too busy ripping the toilet cisterns off the wall and scratching the words, I love cock, into all the toilet seats. Cinderella leaves a glass slipper on the steps of the ball as she leaves at midnight. I left this place at midnight. I promise you there was a woman in normal slippers having a piss behind a taxi. That's the kind of... That's what I was up against. I said, so this is ballroom, is it? This is the ballroom. The manager said, yes, this is ballroom. What do you think? I said, what's the difference? What the bloody hell? What have you done? Why is it He said, what's the difference? What? He started doing that majestic sweep. Okay, what's the difference? I've never seen such an incongruous gesture. You know, even his arm was going, sod this, I'm not getting involved. He's like, do the majestic sweep, you're on your own, mate. You've done worse, you made me do that. I offered you rubber gloves, do it. It's the most inappropriate gesture I've ever seen in my life. And I say that even though I was a pallbearer at a relative's funeral a few years ago, and as I walked past my brother very solemnly with the coffin, he spotted me and went like that. How Welsh is that? It's going all right. This was more inappropriate than that. I just said I'm not being funny, but what's the difference? Why is it a ballroom theatre? He said, what's the difference? Look at the place, look what we've done. He said, you wouldn't have had that up for a start, he said. Yeah, bless you for looking up there, pals, it's in the past. What's he looking at? What's the point? This is about a year ago in a different bloody place, different time. I did what you did, to be fair. I followed the line of where he was pointing. I was there at the time. I followed the line of where he was pointing, and not even in the centre of the room, but off to one side. Are you still looking at the one? Off to one side, not even in the centre, was the tiniest glitter ball you've ever seen. That was it. That's all there was. I can't even think of an occasion where you'd need a glitter ball that small unless you're having a disco in your ear, possibly. I said, so that's what all the fuss is about, that little glitter ball? And he said, I'll take it down if that's your attitude, I'll take it. I said, no, leave it up now, it doesn't matter. He said, no, I'm taking it down. He got on a ladder, unscrewed the glitter ball, and locked the ballroom away in his drawer for another year. And the gig was a disaster, I knew it would be. They were shouting, they're animals, they were shouting and heckling. This woman, this is what happened to this woman ran from the front, this mad woman, and smashed my mince pie. She did, she ran from the front and smashed the original pie. I'd been keeping it for 6 bloody months to do this show. The venue manager came out, he said, how did it go? I said, look at my pie. There's all the evidence you need, look at the state of that bloody pie, I promise you, no hint of irony. He said, well, you've only got yourself to blame, haven't you? Maybe next time you'll have it ballroom like I suggested. So that's what happened to the original mince pie, and I'll